Intro ഉണ്ടാവും. നിങ്ങൾ introduction കൊടുക്കോ? Hello.
Oh my God.
Aisha? Shall I start, Aisha? Okay, good evening all. My name is Naufal Pudiyapuril. I am a chartered QS and RICS candidates counselor, mentor and assessor. Today evening I will take you through the process on how to become a chartered quantity surveyor or a member of Royal Institution of Chartered QS. Okay, the RICS process, it will start with, I will take you through the how to start the process, then the case study, the submission and the summary of experience submission preparation, then the final interview, and what to expect from the interview, then the preparation resources. Aisha? Okay. Associate assessment. That is the very basic membership of the associate membership. In there is an entry level RICS qualification which offers the chance to progress to the full chartered. So the requirement for this associate membership is 1 year of relevant experience and the relevant bachelor degree, and 2 years relevant experience is required, and a higher or advanced foundation qualification for year experience, relevant experience is required. And the next one is the chartered assessment, which is the full membership. So the chartered member is available on completion of the chartered qualification. You can enroll at any time in your career, but you should meet one of the following before applying for the assessment. You should have an accredited degree, RICS accredited degree, then 5 years of relevant experience and 10 years of relevant experience operating at any advanced level by seriously specialization or in academia. Okay, and if you have 5 years experience and bachelor's degree, you can go through the preliminary review route. And if you have 10 years or more relevant experience, then it is an advanced level like a professional, senior professional route. So now I will take you through the RICS chartered pathway, which requires RICS accredited degree, then at least 24 months structured training and minimum of 96 hours CPD, continuous professional development hours. The RICS accredited degree with a minimum of 5 years relevant experience and at least 12 months structured training of 48 hours. And RICS accredited degree with minimum of 10 years relevant experience demonstrate a minimum of 48 hours CPD over the preceding 12 months. No structured training period required. So if you have a 5 years experience and the RSS accredited degree, there is no structured training required. The bachelor's degree or membership of a RICS approved professional body with a minimum of 5 years relevant experience, at least 12 months must be post qualification, successfully completing the preliminary review and a minimum of 48 hours CPD. The assessment of professional competence ensure that the candidates are competent and meet the high standards of professionalism required to become a chartered quantity surveyor. So there are 17 RSS professional groups, which includes building control, building surveying, commercial property, dispute resolution, environmental resolution, facility management, like that, and also the quantity surveying and construction, which is the most popular and most of the people prefer this professional group. The RICS offices, there are offices in Middle East, especially in United Emirates, then Qatar, then the South Asia, which includes India also, Delhi and Gurgaon. Why you need to be a chartered quantity surveyor? It's to join a global professional network to build the credible commercial network across the built environment, which you can connect with your peers around the world and leading figures in the industry using expanding network events, webinars, social media channels, etc. There are over 130,000 chartered quantity surveyor around the world, and 40,000 based in the based outside the UK. The professional accreditation, which demonstrate to your clients that your service delivery aligns with global standards and governs through the professional ethics. And this membership will boost your career and also to become an overall all-round professional. So when you need to start the process, the assessment date for the Southeast Asia, it is there is one date which already now we passed the October 2023. Now the next will be in from January to February 2024, and there will be one which is I am talking about. This is for the preliminary review assessment. The submission dates also there is a submission date in May 2024, then the one in October 2024. And for the chartered assessment, the submission dates, it is one session already we passed now, and the next will be in January 2024. Then the assessment date that is submission date, and the assessment date will be in March 2024. Then there is another submission session in April to May, and the assessment in June 2024. Then the last one in the August submission. Then the assessment is in September to October. For the associate assessment, these are the dates. The submission in January 24, then the assessment in March 24, then May, June, then the August and October respectively. How the sequence, the process, you have to read the RICS APC candidate guide, which you can download it from the RICS website. I will share some links at the end of this presentation. Then you need to select a pathway. There are 22 pathways for MRICS, and you have to submit the CV to the RICS. Then approve a route, which route you need to go, like whether it's a associate route or the chartered route or the preliminary route, like this. Then you have to make the payment to the RICS. Then select the competencies. Start the structured training through ARC. There is an assessment platform. Once you pay the fee and all, you can access that platform. Then prepare for the final submission. The submission includes summary of experience, then CPD hours, a case study, and application. Then you need to complete the ethics module, then the final APC interview. Then the competencies selections, there are mix of technical and professional practice, interpersonal, business, and management skills. You can refer to the candidates guides, which is published in August 2018 through RSA's website. Then I will have some slide on this later. The mandatory, which is mandatory for all the chartered pathways, personal, interpersonal, professional, business skills, common to all pathways, and mandatory. Which mandatory are for all candidates. Then the technical core, which is the primary skills of your chosen pathway. Then the technical optional, which we have the options to select it from various optional subjects, which I'll come through later. So this is the pathway: mandatory, core, optional. Like you can see here, mandatory, you need to do ethics, then the client care, communication and negotiation, health and safety, accounting principles, business planning, conflict avoidance, data management, diversity, inclusive environment, then sustainability. Then the core, these all mandatory, you have to achieve different levels, which I will go through in later. Level 3, the ethics, you have to cover level 3. And these 3 competencies, you need to cover level 2. Remaining competencies, you need to cover level 1. Then the core competency, all these core competencies, you have to achieve level 3. And if you are choosing the quantity surveying pathway, there is a commercial management of construction or design economics and cost planning. You can choose either of those. Then there is a construction technology and environmental services. Then there is contract practice, procurement and tendering, project finance control and reporting, quantification and costing of the construction works. So these all 6 core competencies you have to achieve level 3. Then the optional competencies you need to achieve up to level 2. These level 1, 2, 3, why the differences, I will explain it in soon. So under level the optional, you have the competencies like capital allowance is there, then the commercial management is there, design economics is there, conflict avoidance, contract administration, corporate recovery, due diligence, insurance, programming and planning, risk management, etc. Moving on to levels. See, this is the levels which I explained earlier. Level 1, you need only to achieve knowledge and understanding. That is basic level. Whereas in level 2, you have to prove your application of the knowledge. Like if it is level 1 means knowing, level 2 doing, application of the knowledge. And level 3 means the expert level, recent advice and depth of knowledge. You have to give advice to your clients, or to stakeholders. This is at expert level. This is the structured training process. In case if you are not going for the chartered assessment route, which has to be carried out through the assessment platform, there are various stages in this structured training process, like APC enrollment, then the 3 months supervisors meeting, then the 6 month mentoring, etc. So you can go through this in detail and understand how is the structured training process is being carried out. So this is the sample of the assessment platform where you can see your CPD. If you have started, it will show as like in orange color as started, and once it is submitted, it will show as in green. But now at the beginning level, it will be showing as not started. Then the professional module, case study, um, competencies, summary of experience. Then once all this is green, then your counselor will approve the candidate. So once it is approved, means your full submission is completed. Then the final submission, summary of experience. Um, it is a written statement of your mandatory and technical competencies. If the competency you selected is level 3, you should ensure you write the summary of levels 1, 2, and 3. That means you have to write level 1 and level 2 and level 3. Knowing, doing, and advising. For the competencies, uh, for level 1, you must provide the statement of learning, how you gain the knowledge and understanding. This can link to any relevant CPD in your CPD record. Okay, this basically like theory, And level 2, you must provide a statement of range of experience you have achieved and include. For level 1, you must provide the statement of learning. Aisha? Slide. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, there was some technical error in the presentation. So basically, I was talking about the different levels of the competencies you need to achieve. And level one, as I mentioned earlier, it's knowledge and understanding level. And level two, um, it is application of that knowledge, doing. For example, let us say payment certificate. So payment certificate is a document which is prepared to certify the payment for the contractor or the subcontractor, and that is the theory. And in level 2, you have to show that how you have certified, like it requires how much progress is achieved by the contractor or the subcontractor, and it need to be verified by the engineer, and the retention, if there is any retention or advance recovery and all, to be deducted. So like this, doing the process, that is level 2. And level 3 means giving expert advice. For example, if a contractor submitted a payment application, and there is no insurances or the bank guarantee, something they have not submitted, so in that case, that payment application will not be processed and certified. So if your employer is asking your advice, so as a chartered quantity surveyor, what to do, like how, whether do we need to certify this payment or not. So you will give an advice that since the contractor did not submit the insurances and bonds, uh, I cannot certify this payment. Like this, you are advising the employer or the client. So this is the different levels which we need to achieve. And final submission, there is a CPD to be you have to achieve. Special attention must be given to the principles underpinning CPD. It has to be gained in a structured manner, and you need to explicit process of selecting. Structured manner means uh, we have to look for CPDs conducted by professional institutions such as RICS or the FIDIC, or any other institutions which they are conducting. So it has to be in that manner. And uh, process of selection. We have to select the CPD event which is relevant to our profession or the competencies. For example, the contract administration and all, or the commercial management. Such kind of CPDs we need to select, and planning and evaluating the activities, uh, uh, which which uh, activities we will be achieving after the attending the CPD, and evaluating how what is the outcome and all. We need to plan it, and reflecting learning from informal training sources, example structured reading, secondments, etc. Also, we need to gain the CPD by training sources like reading RIC's professional um, statements and any other publications, etc. So, all APC candidates are required to complete a minimum 48 hours of CPD. And during the interview, um, there may be some focus on your CPD also, on the final assessment interview, which I will take you through after a while. And if you are undertaking structured training, you must complete a minimum 48 hours per 12 months of the structured training. If you are not required to complete the structured training, you need to demonstrate minimum 48 hours of in the 12 months prior to preliminary review. So if you are going through the preliminary review route, before doing the preliminary submission, you need to do the 48 hours of the CPD. In the final submission, you have to complete ethics professionalism module. All the RICs, I mean chartered quantity surveyor, need to act ethically. So we have to be aware what are the RICS ethical standards, regulations, and all. So behaving ethically is the heart of a chartered quantity surveyor, which means to be professional, which distinguish professionals from others in the marketplace. Yeah, there is a big difference between a chartered quantity surveyor and a normal quantity surveyor. You are required to successfully complete the RICS ethics module prior to the final assessment, which includes online learning and online assessment. We can access it through your assessment platform. Uh, Once successfully completed, it has to be valid for 12 months. So, if it is expired, we have to renew it, the professional ethics module. There will be significant emphasis on professional practice and ethics in the interview. In the final assessment interview, ethics will be very critical. You have to be aware about the RICS ethics, professionalism, and standard. So final submission, case study. The case study is the document which we need to submit along with the final submission. It has to be 3,000 words and must be on a project or a projects that you have been personally involved in the 2 years prior to your assessment submission date. So if you prior to your assessment submission, it has to be within the 2 years of your experience in any project. Which you might have any, you might have encountered any issues, any case. You have to write about that case. It must be providing a critical appraisal of the project together with an outline of your learning outcomes. Your case study validity will be calculated on a rolling period from the date you submit for the assessment. You should check that activities you discuss in your case study are within the required 24 months period. So the case study, this is the structure of the case study. There will be an introduction which will have approximately 500 words. So which you need to write about what did you do, what was your level of responsibility, who were the stakeholders, etc. And continuing with my approach session, in which you will describe about the key issue or the challenges on that project. Here, you will have a limited word count. So you have to manage the word count accordingly. Okay. So this is the section you will explain about the key issue of the case study. For example, any delay by a subcontractor in the project, or any budget overrun in the project, something like that, and how you encountered that problem. That is how you will be explaining in the case study. And the section 3 will have the MI achievements, in which you will describe how you achieved and how to demonstrate the ability to think logically, laterally, and professionally, giving examples of where you gave recent advice to the client for your level 3 competencies. So this is the area you will give the different options for your key issue. Option 1, option 2, option 3 you are proposing, and which is the best and suitable option you are recommending to resolve the key issue. So like this you have to frame the case study. Then there will be a conclusion to reflect and analyze your performance and to make reference to the lessons you learned. So there will be conclusion and the lessons learned. Then you can include the appendix to list out the competencies which you have demonstrated in the case study. For example, you have mentioned about some contract drafting and all. So the relevant contract practice competency you can list out there. And if it is related to any procurement strategy and all, you can mention the procurement and tendering competency, and any other appendixes which you need to include, like graphs, photographs, or any charts, etc. So then after the submission, so we talked about the uh, selecting the pathway, then enrolling in the arious, like submitting the application, then the paying the fees and choosing the appropriate route, which route you need to go, whether the preliminary route or the chartered accredited degree route. Then after this process, you will select the competencies, like I explained earlier. Out of there are 19 competencies, and after selecting the competencies, you will start preparing for the submission, the case study, then the summary of experience. Then after the submission, the next step is the final IPC interview, which is the interview structure is there will be opening session from the chairman. There will be 3 persons in the interview, in the assessment panel. One chairman will be there and 2 assessors. Then the 3 to 4 minutes from the chairman's introduction. Then the candidate will do the presentation on the case study for 10 minutes. Then the assessors will ask questions on the case study presentation for 10 minutes. Then this discussion of overall experience, including CPD, technical competencies, then ethics and all. Then chairman's area of questioning may be, this is the area, the ethics question will be asked by the chairman at the end of the session. Then the chairman will close the interview. So overall 60 minutes interview, which you need to show your overall skills, which will be proving your presentation skills, communication skills, your knowledge, your answering techniques, and all. And the assessment, the final assessment will be based on an holistic approach. So these are the resources available. You can visit the RICS website where there are plenty of resources available, and for choosing the which pathway selection and all, you can go to the link, and for the assessment details and all, you can choose the link below. Uh, Sorry, some technical error again. Okay, now it's clear. So these are the links which I will share the slides. You can access various information on the RICS website. Then the presentation, layout, timing, time breakdown, then the body language, eye contact, voice projection, etc. So it needs a lot of practice for the final assessment interview presentation. Then the interview questions, nature of questions, what assessors expect, how to structure the answer, thinking pattern, body language, how to evaluate yourself and revise, quantity surveying and construction pathway guide, study checklist, peer review. These are the process you need to follow. The pathway guide give us you lot of information and guidance to how to do the preparations. Then the rules of conduct, how to prepare. This is the interview preparation which I am going through now. Some questions you may have to remember by heart, like RICS rules of conduct um, and gifts and hospitality policies, all those things. Then the principles and value system of yourself, and get used to think on what is the right thing to do. Then RICS ethics decision tree. In case of any ethical dilemma, you can refer to RICS decision tree. Then also for the interview, you have to attend a lot of mock interviews, one-to-one panel interviews, etc. Then on the interview day, there is a checklist, how physical health wise. Then the technology, you need to check your computer internet connection, uh, surrounding background noise, lighting, dress code, body language, etc. Then just to remember that it's a holistic view of your training, final assessment, submissions, presentation, and interview. Poor performance in one area may be balanced out by an excellent performance elsewhere. That means it's a holistic. It's not only about your knowledge or skills. It's an overall assessment of our communication, presentation, and our eye contact, body language. All these skills will be assessed. So RICC is looking for you to be not only to be a technically competent person, and to be a good ambassador of the profession, and to be aware of the professional and commercial implications of your work, and understand the clients and employers' objectives, to have a day-to-day knowledge of legal and industrial matters, and to have a confidence to work unsupervised. So after the interview, within 1 week, the result will be published, whether it's a pass or referral. That is the end of the session. If you have any questions, you can raise it. Yeah.